What more do you need in a podcast besides two beautiful mustached men and tech?
Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of show, folks. Oh man. But honestly, no, we've been friends for quite some time, podcasting for a number of years, and then work gets in the way, life gets in the way, and now for those of you that may not know, I still do a show and podcast called Slav's Free Talk, and you can find that's all. Well, it used to be all pop culture. Now it's just DC centric because nobody else cared about my other pop culture takes except for my DC takes. So I turned it basically into DC. But yeah, this is going to be Bite into Apple, where we just discuss Apple and maybe other tech will sneak in there here and there. But for the most part, it will be Apple centric. And look, I know there's a plethora of Apple podcasts out there, but you know what's going to make this one better and different than those? Us two.
Yeah. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
So honestly, to really get into this, before we talk about the releases of 2026 or what we expect to come out in 2026, I want to talk about us and why people should even care what we think about Apple, because I think we have a very interesting dynamic right here.
Well, see, one day we met and then we went out to dinner one time and then we really just kicked it off from there. We fight over the side of the bed, but we'll propose one day.
Jeez. Okay. Anyways, so from an Apple standpoint, we'll get into me. I've talked enough. Let's get into you a little bit. Why should people even care what you have to say when it comes to Apple and just the ecosystem and everything like that?
I don't suck.
No,
Next question. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I've had Apple for probably better half of 10 years now. 9-10 years, something like that. So I've been around for a while. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I would know what I'm kind of talking about. I'm familiar, way more than familiar with it.
Yeah.
Outside of MacBook. God,
I thought you got a MacBook. Didn't you get a MacBook?
do, and I still can't. I can't do it. You want me to work a phone or an iPad? I can work my way around it, but give me a MacBook or a Mac. I just can't do it.
From my standpoint, and why I think this is an interesting dynamic to a point is I was totally against Apple for 30 years.
Oh, I know. 30, it was
4 years, 5 years, whatever. I mean, from the time I was a little itty bitty baby until 5 years ago,
that was years of working you down.
No, let's be fair. I mean, you weren't the one that worked me down. Maybe a little bit, but
yeah, no, I worked you real good.
Oh, you were working me real good. But honestly, the whole idea behind this is I decided in 2020 to give an iPhone a chance. And I got lucky because where I worked was like, here, you're going to get a work phone. You have a choice between an iPhone or a Galaxy. And I was like, well, I already use Android. I know what it's like. I need to test it out. I'm a tech fanatic. I love tech. I love tech of all sorts, whether it's computers, whether it's smart home stuff, whether it's whatever. It doesn't matter. I love tech. And it was like, I've never truly experienced iPhone before. So I was like, all right, give me an iPhone. I don't have to pay for it. So if I hate it, I don't care.
Yeah. No loss.
Yeah. So they got me an iPhone. I think it was an XR, a 10R, whatever it's called. And I kind of got into it a little bit. I was like, I'm just not, I don't know. I wasn't using it enough. It's a work phone. So it kind of sat there and I didn't use it a lot. So I was like, but I don't hate everything about it. So I was due for an upgrade on my phone and I decided, you know what? I'm going to get an iPhone. And I got the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And at that point I was like, well, I got to experience Apple completely. I have to understand what it is on, like a spiritual level. So I was like, I want a smartwatch. So I got a smartwatch. I got an Apple Watch at the time, an Apple Watch SE. And I was like, okay, this is cool. This works a lot more seamlessly and better than any other combo that I had with Android. So I really like this. But you know what? I'm still missing out. So a friend of ours at the house, there was they were selling a MacBook Air, an older MacBook Air, and I was like, "How much?" And they're like $300. Okay, so I got that, and it was literally within the span of like 6 months. I went from having no Apple products to having two phones, an Apple Watch, a MacBook Air, and I bought an iPad. So
And you just went down that slippery rabbit hole.
and it got crazy. And the one reason why I did that is because with every piece of Apple product I got, I was investing more into the ecosystem, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was just smooth. It was easy. It was ease. Like that. That's kind of the word I always like to go back to, is just ease of use. And that turned me into getting a Mac Mini for my main computer. I now have, what else? I got AirTags. I got any, like, I can't even count how many Apple products I have.
Insert Apple product name here.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I like too, because they just flow so seamlessly with each other that like nothing compares to it, really.
Exactly. And that's kind of the whole idea. And I know a lot of people who may listen to this are going to understand that and say, well, yeah, no shit. Like that's exactly what it is. But for me, coming from a PC side, coming from an Android side, look, and even before Android, I hated Android. I loved the old Windows phones, and I loved the aesthetic, the feel, the operating system for it. I think was one of the best that has ever been for phones, smartphones, that is. And, I didn't even really like Android, but it was better than Apple, in my opinion, at the time. So now that I have all this Apple stuff, it was kind of like, man, I just kept building up. I've got HomePods. I got, 4 or 5 HomePods in the house. I got this, I got that. It's just everything. Yeah. I kind of fell down the rabbit hole. But along with that is because I was learning, I was like, I need to understand before I get an iPad. Why do I need an iPad? Why do I want an iPad? Before I get this, why do I need this? Why do I want this? I kept falling down into just learning more and more and more and more about what exactly the ecosystem is, what Apple is, why it is so done, so well done. And that's kind of where I'm at today. I mean, over 5 years now in the Apple ecosystem. I love it. You were just saying how you don't like MacBook. Like, you can't figure out MacBook. Dude. Yeah. You just got to dive into it.
That's just years of using PC. That's all it is. If I would sit down and play with it, I would probably like it more. But like before I had an Apple, I swore by Motorola Razr. Had every Razr up until like 2015. Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I'll just get an Apple. I mean, whatever. Everybody seems to have an iPhone and like it. I'll probably like it. And I haven't looked back since.
Yeah. Oh, am I going to sit here and say that it is perfect? Not at all. Apple is far from perfect. And honestly, I can tell over the last few years that it's struggled even more than it used to. But there's so many, like, I joined at the perfect time when it comes to Apple Silicon as well, because you take a look at all the M1 chip that started in 2020. So the M series chips, those things just have destroyed the PC market. Like, they are always far and above what is going on in the PC realm. And again, are these gaming computers? No. I know that's some things some people get upset about, is like, you can't really game on these things, and they're working towards that, but that's never been their
but
thing.
We're adults.
but we're adults.
Kidding. As I'm saying that, I was late for the recording because I was playing a game.
We're adults. Yeah.
Well, my Switch 2 is out in the room too. Well, see, that's like the one thing. I don't have many Apple home products, like the home, where are they, home base, the HomePods, whatever HomePods, they're called. Because I also have the Amazon Astro, that little AI robot thing that rolls around. So I have to keep. I don't know if she's in here. Alexa. She
might hear you.
Yeah, to like use it, so that I'm like, well, I don't really have much smart stuff outside of that. So I've tried a few bulbs.
Honestly, like my house is basically Amazon Alexa. Like, that's what it is. I tried to go all HomeKit a couple years back, but it just broke all the time. Like, things just would always break within HomeKit, and I wanted it to work, and I pushed for it to work so hard. I tried everything I could to to make it work. But not only did it break all the time, but all of the things that were for it at the time were so expensive. And it was like, if I want to change all the light switches in my house to get ones that are compatible with HomeKit, I'm looking at like $500.
Yeah.
If I want to do this, it's, like this much money. And then I look at the Alexa stuff and I'm like, oh, well, that's relatively cheap.
Yeah, it's just affordable.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's like all of my bulbs in my house are smart and everything. Like I have all Philip Hue bulbs and I have a whole system set up in the living room. I'm like, it's just too much of a hassle for me to switch it over from Amazon to Apple. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's the new Matter system that is out that is really worth it, because Matter now is anything that gets made that's a smart home product has to be compatible with Matter. So that way, if you get a smart bulb now that's compatible with Matter, it'll work with your HomeKit. It'll work with your Amazon stuff. It'll work with your Google stuff. So that's nice. But that came too late. Like for me, because I tried HomeKit, sucked for me, hated it. I jumped to the Amazon stuff, which, again, is it perfect? No, but it works. And for what I need. It works for what I need. If I need to tell them to turn the lights on in here, or the Christmas tree lights when I have the Christmas tree up, or the lights out to the Christmas lights outside, or whatever, like I have everything set up where, hey, I just want it to do this. I tell it to do it. And 99% of the time it works. And that's what I care about.
Well, see, if I didn't have Astro, I probably would dive into Apple, but being an Amazon product, I doubt it'll work. So... Yeah. It's also why I have a Ring camera as well, because I had to have a Ring subscription to use the full capacity of Astro, which is absolutely stupid, but whatever. So
how is Astro? Is it still good?
Oh yeah, he's cool. He vibes. They're supposed to be releasing an AI update for him, and I'm like, please.
Oh boy. Robots are taking over the world. It started with Astro.
Astro with his little periscope just
CES was this week. And actually, it's been going on the last couple of days. And a lot of the videos and a lot of the things I'm seeing from people are, there's robots that all of these companies are introducing, and they're like life-size robots. I'm like, who the hell is going to be able to afford that stuff? Wasn't Astro like $1,200?
I got in at the beta 800, but I think he's up to 15 or something now.
Yeah, so you're thinking something as small as Astro, but that is 1,500. Imagine what these life-size ones are going to cost. Like,
oh yeah, 20,000
exactly. Like,
it'll never be here anytime soon, unless they're like, here's a test one. Please give us a good review.
Crazy. But all right, let's get into the Apple of it all, though. For what's coming out this year. I hit the wrong button here. Let's there we go. That's better.
Yay.
So we're circular now. We're circular. All right. So 2026. It looks like it could be a somewhat big year for Apple. I'm somebody who, like I said, I keep up with Apple. I keep up with all the things. I'm actually for my birthday's coming up, and I'm looking at getting
happy birthday.
I'm actually getting an M5 MacBook Pro. So I'm kind of excited about that, because the MacBook Air I have is great and all, but when I try to do streams with it or anything like that, it lags. It has issues. Yeah, I have my Mac Mini, my M1 Mac Mini, that is great, and I can use that half the time for doing stuff, but it's not always available for me to use, and sometimes I have to use my MacBook Air, and it just isn't cutting it. So yeah, we're looking at I'm looking at getting a M5 MacBook Pro. So I can't wait for that. That should be exciting for sure.
I bought the MacBook Airs. Well, me and Nicole both have one. Breaking the fourth wall. Nicole's my girlfriend. If you haven't watched this show in the past 8 years.
Well, they definitely didn't watch this show.
Well, not this show, but if you've seen anything else. I bought my mom one too for work. And the M4s work phenomenally. I love it. It's like no problem loading unless the internet sucks. But
yeah, I mean, I have the M2 MacBook Air. That's back when I got the MacBook Air, and I love it. I mean, it's great. It besides streaming, I have no other issues with it. Nothing. Anything I needed to do, if I edit videos on it, if I have to use Pixelmator, whatever it is, like whatever I'm using on it, works perfectly fine. It's just streaming. Sometimes it's not good, and I already deal with internet issues in my area, so to have to then deal with that as well is just a pain. So yeah, all right. So 2026 should be a great year. Again, I'm looking for what I'm getting, but let's see what other things people can get. Now, I'm taking this from MacRumors.com, and I felt they had the most in-depth article with this, but I feel like they're off on some things because, again, if you've been paying attention to Apple and what their plans are and what they're doing over the next couple years to realign their iPhone strategy, I feel like some of what they have here may be off a little bit. So, first off, iPhones. So, honestly, iPhone 17e, the plan is to get that. They think that we may get it within the first or second quarter here of 2026. I think that they may skip this. I could be wrong. I just feel like this might be one of those phones that they do like every other cycle.
It just doesn't make sense to release that and then 6 months later. We'll skip ahead a little bit here, but the release the 18, at earliest 6 months, like if that's released in the second quarter, 6 months after it's released.
I mean, if you think about it, though, so last year they did the 16e, which replaced the SE, and the SE was a phone that was great. It was a cheap phone. I think it was like $399 or $299 if you could find it on sale most places. Like it was a cheap phone, but the the 16e is $500 or $550. Like it's at a price point that is not as competitive as the SE was. It's not selling great by all accounts. So if you sit there and think about it, it's kind of like, well, why would they update it every single year? What's the point of updating it every year? Like the 16e is going to be just as good now as the 17e would. Now, if they wanted to update it a little bit, maybe give it a new design, maybe slim it down, maybe finally give it MagSafe, sure, that would make sense and keep it the same price. But if they're not going to do any of that, if it's just simply going to be a spec bump with a new chip in it, I don't think there's a reason to do it until, every couple years. That's just what I think. Now, could it happen? Yeah, I mean, it could very well happen still. But
I mean, as long as they think they're going to make money, they're going to do it. It's not going to matter.
Exactly.
To me, I never really got any of the E variants outside of like the XR, X10R, or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else has just been like, a 14, 15, 16, 17.
Yeah, I mean, I got the SE watch when I first got the watch, and it's because I didn't really understand what I was doing. I was like, oh, look, there's a watch for $200, $300, and there's watches for $600. I'm going to get the cheaper one. And I completely regretted it after the fact. And now I have a Series 8, and it's just perfect, and it does everything I need it to do. I can't wait, in about a year or so, I'll get the next one. Like, I kind of alternate every year, like throughout the years, like what I get. So it's like my phones are every 2 years, my watches are every 2 years, my, like I got a new iPad after 2 years. So it's like everything's like I keep for like 2 years and I upgrade them. So
well, I know I have, I think it's the Apple Watch 6, 7 maybe. And I've had it for 3 years and the battery life is like 47%. Ooh. But keep in mind, I wear it 6 to 7 days a week for work. So the fact that it's still going is pretty good.
Yeah, and you're on your feet all day too, so it's constantly tracking what you're doing. So
so get an Apple Watch.
Absolutely. I think the Apple Watch is great, and honestly, I think the Apple Watch is like the perfect tool. Like, I think Apple needs to focus, and we'll get into it later, but the Apple Watch needs to focus a little bit more on the Apple Watch with something. All right, but sticking with the phones, this is where things are going to start to change. You're going to see a bit of a change this year when they release the iPhone 18. They're not going to release the base model in September. They're going to release the Pro model, but along with the Pro model, they're going to release a iPhone Fold. Also, some people are calling it the iPhone Ultra. This is probably, so you're probably going to look at the Pro Max, and the Ultra coming out this September. Now, this is a cool little design. I'm going to show this here. This is closer to what people are saying it's going to look like. The reason for that is there were some CAD files that came up online, and people decided to 3D print those CAD files, and this is pretty much the design of what it looks like. It's a little smaller, it's a little fatter, but essentially when you unfold it, it's the size, roughly the size of an iPad mini when you open it up and unfold it. So it's really interesting because it is going to be shorter than a typical iPhone, but it will be obviously wider when you unfold it. The question is, and I want to know what you think, because obviously the Pro Max are going to get a chip upgrade, probably a slight camera upgrade, just your typical yearly type of thing. This iPhone Fold is absolutely going to be the highlight of the year, but it's obviously not going to be for everybody because it's going to be probably around $2,500 or $2,000 at minimum. But what do you think? Like, do you think this is the right move for Apple? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
See, I didn't like it when, what was it, Samsung, whoever did the foldable phone. I personally, to me, it's like, oh, you damage that screen. Well, there's $500 gone. So to me, I don't like the foldable phone from just something happens, because you can't buy a screen protector for it. Nothing that's super durable. You can't necessarily buy a case for it because it's still going to have to bend. The
big thing with the folds are the screens, and you have that little like folding thing right in the middle, and it's just
it's like gonna wear out. Pixels are gonna die. It's just not a good plan for anything.
But here's the thing. I mean, every company's been doing it. Apple has stated that they didn't want to do it until they could get a screen that would not have a crease. And if they're putting it out, that means they got a screen without a crease. Interestingly enough, at CES this year, it was unveiled that there was an actual new screen technology that does not have a crease. And let me see if I can find it here. Right here. Yeah, foldable iPhone crease-free display, tech spotted at CES. So this is kind of the stuff at CES. There's the technology is being displayed now. Like, they're showing off the technology, so you have no crease in the foldable display. Let's go. I don't even understand how that nonsense, how that works. But
that doesn't seem like it's gonna be cheap to replace. Like, that's my whole thing, is like, if something happens and you break that screen, you're paying for basically the price of the phone.
Yeah.
And I just can't get behind that.
If you see here, darn ads everywhere. Come on, pop-ups. What the heck is going on? No, go away. Like this here, right here. So this is a fold. So this is like a book fold. This is what this is. So the crease would technically be right where my cursor is, because you can see right there's so that's where the crease would be. And you see no crease. Like, you don't see a crease at all. Yeah. So if that's the technology that they're using, I mean, now that's a Samsung, right? That's not an Apple product. That's a Samsung, but still.
Yeah. I mean, if it works, cool. I personally won't be getting it just because logistically I'm not spending $2,000 on a phone and then $1,500 on a screen.
Yeah.
Because, places like Verizon or any carrier is going to be like, yeah, you can get the insurance, but little asterisk, we don't cover that screen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Sorry.
But those are kind of the big phones that are coming out this year. And the crazy thing is, what happened to the base model? What happened to the iPhone Air? Well, they're going to start doing a structured release for the iPhones, similar to how Samsung has been doing it now, where they put out their Pro models at one point and then their lower budget models at another point. The idea is that we're going to see the Pro models in September of this year, and then come spring of 2027 is when we'll get the regular iPhone 18 and the iPhone Air 2. So that's the whole plan with how they're doing that. And to me, I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. I think from a business standpoint, it's kind of like, hey, here's the new iPhone. The new iPhone came out, and everybody's gonna be like, oh, cool, time to upgrade. And it's going to be like, well, where's the cheaper one? It's like, well, you can wait until the spring, or you can just get this one. And most people are going to say, well, I want the new iPhone, so I'm just going to get this one.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to sell more Pro models, but that kind of sucks for the customer because even like this year, the iPhone 17, like the base model, is phenomenal. It is a great phone. Like, if this was my upgrade year, I probably would have looked at maybe doing that because of just how great of a model. And they've actually done that for 2 years in a row, where they've had really solid base models.
Pro Max.
I mean, that's what I've had, Pro Max. I'm actually thinking about dropping down to the Pro, though. I'm getting sick of the weight of it.
See, I've always gone Pro Max, and I think that's what they're looking at, is like, oh, most of our sales are probably at least Pro Max, so let's try to make the sales look better in the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what it has to be. Then we got the iPads, which the base model iPad, which I guess would be the 12th generation, is planned to come out this spring, which I think you have a base model iPad, but I don't know what.
Yes. No, I have the Pro.
You have a Pro?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you get a Pro? Man,
Nicole needed it for school.
Yeah, I have, honestly, my household, because they're not all mine, but every one of my kids has an iPad here. So that's 6 kids in here. They have an iPad. 3 of the kids have iPhones. And then I have 2 iPads. I have a mini, and then I have an Air 13-inch M2. And then Dominique, my fiance, she has an M1 iPad Pro. So we have so many iPads.
That's like, I was looking over this, and I think I'm gonna probably get a mini this year because the Pro's technically mine, but Nicole's commandeered that.
I love the mini. It's like the perfect size for, because I like to read comics, and there's no comic shop around me, so I have to buy everything digitally. And it's like the perfect size to just sit there, read comics, at night, right before bed. It's not heavy, it's lightweight. You take it anywhere. I use it at work sometimes to take down notes and meetings and things like that. It's perfect. If you get the Apple Pencil and that, it's perfect. I love it.
There's something, if you're I'll have to send it to you. It's like Rethinkable or something like that, where it is essentially just you get a pen and it is just a tablet.
Yeah, I know.
I Remarkable, maybe.
Remarkable, yeah, that's it.
That's what it is. Yeah. I've been looking into one of those just to keep notes for stuff because at this point I can't remember my name most days. So,
but the base model iPad looks like it'll be getting the A19 chip. So that's kind of cool. Like, hey, cool. But it'll be a big improvement over the last one, which I believe to use. I think this says here the A16 chip. So it'll be quite a jump there.
Yeah.
Let's see, iPad Air, which will most likely see a jump to the M4 chip. Again, I mean, I've never liked the naming conventions and how they handle the products in Apple. Like, personally, I've always thought like Air should be the lowest model. Like, to me, Air should be the lowest model, and then iPad should be the middle, and then your Pro should be the high end. Just because, like, if I sit there, and this goes for Macs as well, it's kind of like I sit there and I go, when I think Air, I think light and I think cheap. And that's kind of what I think with Air. But then if I were to sit there and say iPad, it's kind of like, okay, iPad, like that's your most common model. Like that's the one that'll work for everybody. Air, if you want to save some money, and then Pro is like your Pro. And that's how I've always thought about it. So I hate the naming conventions with Apple. I will say that. But the iPad Air is a phenomenal iPad. It's kind of the highest selling iPad. Everybody gets the Air, and that's the one that they really, I think, focus on a lot. The only weird thing is it's not the thinnest iPad anymore because the iPad Pro is the thinnest iPad now. Yeah. So it's kind of
mine's like no joke, like that thick. Yeah, it's insanely thin.
It's crazy. They are talking about a new iPad Mini, which could adopt an OLED screen, which it's desperately needed. And it'll probably also go to the newest chip that's in the A series. So what is that, the A19?
Yeah, it's either 19 or 20.
Yeah.
What they should, and I didn't see it in the article, is update the goddamn charger for the Apple Pens. The new iPads do not support the plug. You have to buy the adapter for the plug.
Yeah, you have to buy the base Apple Pencil because but you're talking about the base iPads.
Yeah, because like my Pro has to have an adapter. I'm like, come on, man.
No. You just don't have the right Apple Pencil.
No, I have the Apple Pencil too.
You need to get the Apple Pencil Pro, and it'll work perfectly fine. And you just stick it on the side, and it'll charge. I wish I had my iPad in here because I'd be like, look, this is what it does.
Yeah, stop it. I don't need any more adapters.
No, you don't need an adapter.
And send bricks, please. That goes for all tech. Send bricks.
Everybody send bricks. Oh, geez. Okay, Max. This is kind of fun. This is kind of a cool thing. There's talk about a low-cost MacBook that should be coming out within the next couple months here. The Air right now, base model MacBook Air, which gets you like 16 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, goes for $999. It's a hell of a deal, especially because if you're a student, you automatically get $100 off, so you're looking at $899. Honestly, though, if you go to Best Buy, you'll probably find it for $150 off there. So the Air is a fantastic MacBook. And honestly, I tell everybody who's like, hey, if I get a MacBook, what should I get? I tell them to get the Air. And I don't even tell them to get the brand new one. Because if you go to Best Buy, you can still find brand new M3 MacBook Airs or M2s on there for cheaper. And they're brand new. They're not used. And I tell people to do that because most people, they don't need all the power of these new chips. They really don't. I mean, these chips are insane. So what's interesting about this low cost is no one really knows what the price is going to be. People are kind of speculating that it could be around $600, give or take, which would then take.
That's a steal. That's a literal steal.
This new MacBook, for sure. But it's going to use an A18 Pro chip. So they're going to be utilizing the chips that are in their phones and putting it in a computer. So then it'll be 13-inch, probably the same size as your MacBook Air, the smaller size. And that's what they're going to start selling for, hopefully around $600, because that's kind of the idea. What they're looking for is getting that price point. They currently have the M1 MacBook Air still for sale. That's still for sale at Walmart for $650, I think. So my guess,
even a steal.
It is. My guess is they'll probably get rid of the M1 MacBook Air at that point, and they'll start doing, selling this here, because the A18 Pro chip will actually be better than the M1 chip. So it's interesting. This isn't going to be a computer for power users. It's not going to be something that you or I would need to get or want to get, because it's not going to be able to handle our workloads. But for those students, for the kids that are just heading off to college, for the kids that need something in high school, that's what this is for. For the grandmothers that are at home that just want to be able to read their email and go on Facebook to keep in contact with their family. That's what this MacBook would be for. And the beauty about it is, if they get it around that $600 price point, they're going to sell like hotcakes.
They're not going to be on the shelves. You'll have to pre-order it and pray you get it. That's it.
I mean, it's going to be crazy. Now, it's not going to have the highest tech of stuff. It's not going to have any OLED screens, probably an LCD screen. It's probably going to have maybe 8 gigs of RAM. Again, it's not going to be spec'd out all crazy, but the reason for that is they're trying to get it at a low cost, but get you in the ecosystem. It's about getting everybody in the ecosystem.
It's like, can it run Word, Excel, and open YouTube all at the same time? Good.
Yeah. Then we got a new MacBook Air coming as normal every single year. You probably have definitely the 13-inch. Are they going to keep the 15-inch around? How's it selling? I don't know, but it will be an M5 chip. So, I mean, spec bump. M5 we've already seen in an iPad as well as the MacBook Pro. The M5 chip is phenomenal. It's just going to continue being phenomenal as we go with the M5 Pro and Max chips coming to MacBook Pros later this year as well. Again, just your 14 and 16-inch machines. These are for your power users. Again, a great spec bump. The improvements on performance are going to be insane compared to the M4, just as they are every single year. And that's again, I know that I've only been part of this ecosystem and part of the Apple family for 5 years, but I've done my research. And to understand where Intel MacBooks were and how you wouldn't really see an upgrade with that for years at a time. Like, you would get an Intel MacBook in 2014 and you wouldn't see any kind of impressive update in that for like 3 or 4 years. Now, with these chips, we're seeing impressive, massive jumps in performance and everything year after year after year after year. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, it's impressive on Apple's end to just keep upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading and upgrading year after year after year,
With
just to
little to no price bumps. There's been one price bump in 5 years for some of these things. And then the MacBook Air went up 1 year and then it went back down the next year. So what they're doing is they're basically just saying, look, when we create a new chip, why would we hold it back? We're just going to throw it in our computers, especially because most of them are the same look that they've been for 5 years. So that's something, they're going to have to update the look and style at some point. But why not just put the newest chip and the best chip in there And anybody who buys a new MacBook is going to have the best. And that means that the longevity of that machine is going to last longer than if you were going in 2025 and buying an M1 when it's kind of like, man, that chip is kind of outdated at this point. It's still great, but outdated, So, I mean, it's the smart thing for them to do. It really is. And then a new Mac Mini. I'm sure they'll put a Pro chip in there like they did last year. Mac Mini is a phenomenal machine. I don't have this version of the Mac Mini. Like I said, I have the M1 Mac Mini, so it was the flatter, larger size. I do want to get one of these ones for my main computer at some point. Of course, I'd love to get a Mac Studio, but that's
I'd love a Mac Studio, but I also don't have room anywhere for a Mac Studio.
Dude, it's this big. It's really like this big.
If you would see my desk right now.
Okay, there we go.
I really need to make an IKEA trip just to buy a longer desktop.
But again, the Mac Studio will see a Max chip, M5 Max chip, and most likely an M5 Ultra chip. So that's pretty much for the Macs. There's some ideas. Could we see a new Mac Pro? I honestly think they're done with the Mac Pros, like the big old cheese graters. I think they're done with those. I don't think it works. Look, the Mac Studios pretty much do exactly what the Pros were doing, just easier. So, it's just a little smaller. The only thing is you can't update any of the IO, but that's so there's so few people who actually need that. So, because everything is USB-C anymore. So why not?
Yeah.
Displays. I don't really care about the displays because I think they're overpriced for what they are. But yeah, they're talking about possibly new Mac displays coming out this year. OLED MacBook Pro. This has been talked about for a while. They don't really know if it's going to be this year or next year that it comes out, but the OLED MacBook Pro is said to possibly be a thing. M5 iMac. I thought we were done with Macs, but I guess not. M5 iMac, maybe. There's been also discussion of a M5 Max iMac, so like a really powerful iMac that's a bit larger. People think that could be coming, or it could be an iMac Pro. So who knows how that's
we don't work in tech startups, so we won't ever see one or get one. I have no desire to get a Mac, like the big Mac. I just don't see the point in it.
Yeah.
Not when you can get a cube this big and hook it up to a monitor and it does literally the same thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Home products. So this Home Hub that's been talked about for about 2 years now is looking like it should finally come out this year. It's going to be a HomePod with a screen on it. This is probably the best mock-up that I've seen of the screen because it's rumored that the screen will be square like that. The speaker, who knows what the speaker on the back is going to look like, but it looks like it's going to be something that they're going to be releasing. There's also talk that they may release one that actually can go on your wall as well. I don't know. I have one of the Amazon screens in my kitchen. It's great because in the morning you wake up, you can see the weather, you can see some of the news, you can see what list of things.
I have the same thing.
Yeah, I love it. I would not mind getting an Apple version of it because it can integrate with all of my apps and all of my calendars and everything on there. Be a lot better. But I don't mind having the Amazon one. It's nice. Of course, the problem with these things that have these screens, specifically this Amazon one, was screen burn in. There's some nasty burn in on that screen, and I got it a couple years ago. It's kind of like I should probably upgrade it, but I haven't yet because I want to see if there's going to be an Apple one personally.
Yeah.
HomePod Mini there hasn't been an update since it originally came out in 2020, although store shelves have kind of they don't have them. You can't find all of them everywhere. It's kind of like they're slowly being phased out. Does that mean we're getting a new HomePod Mini? I hope so, because I love my HomePod Minis. I use those in my bedroom for my TV. My TV's across the room, but right behind my bedpost, I put 2 little shelves on the wall, and I have 2 HomePod Minis right there. So the sound is perfect. It's right there, but at our heads, works perfectly. I love it. Because you need to do that, though, you have to have an Apple TV, which I have those as well. Nerd. Of course. And then I have the full-size HomePods. Actually, I have 2 of them sitting right here for my main TV in my living room. So I love the HomePods, and I think they sound great. The one thing I wish they would do, though, is one come out with like a HomePod subwoofer and then allow you to connect up the subwoofer 2 big HomePods and 2 HomePod minis to do sort of a home theater system with them.
Oh, that
a
would be nice.
5-point home theater system. Who just did that? Alexa, Amazon. They're doing that with their Alexa devices, where you can do that. It'd be nice if Apple would do it, because their stuff is much better.
This show's not biased at all.
No, well, look, here's the thing. Like, I
I'm
have
kidding.
the Amazon stuff. It's just, I think the Apple stuff sounds better. I do.
Yeah.
I think it sounds like the speakers sound better, because I have Echo Dots, I have the Echo Screen, I have Echo Pops. Like, I have all of the different Echoes throughout my house because they control my house, but the sound is just not great. Like, I prefer the sound out of the HomePods, and that's what I would like to see. Apple TV, another Apple. We haven't seen an Apple TV upgrade since I think 2021, maybe 2022.
I've never had Apple TV,
dude. Look,
I don't know if I can say it on air what I rock, because I don't know if it's 100% for say. But for $350, it's really nice.
I was gonna say, Apple TV is phenomenal. It is the best streaming device out there. There's nothing better. I've had Fire Sticks, I've had Chromecast, I've had all of those things. I've had a Roku. The Apple TV is by far the best, and I recommend it to anybody to just drop $120 and get it. I know it seems a little steep, but I've had mine now for 3 years, 4 years maybe. I've had 2 of them because I have one in my room and in the living room, and I've had no problems with them at all, and they've been phenomenal. And again, they hook up with your HomePod speakers, which is great. AirTags. AirTags is another one that hasn't been updated for a while, but there's been rumors that there's going to be a new update for them where it's going to have better tracking systems on it and better battery usage and things like that. I love AirTags. I have probably 10 or 15 of them.
Oh, it's the same. I have one. My wallet, all 3 dogs have one. Nicole's book bag has one because she lost it one time. Both of our keys. I can't even tell you how many of those things I have.
Yeah, but AirTags are great, and they're they're cheap for what they are. I mean, you get a pack of 4 of them for $100. You can normally find them on sale. At least the current versions, you can usually find them on sale for like $80 for 4, which is not bad at all.
Oh yeah, well, just wait for an Amazon sale, and that's typically what, $75-$80 for a 4
right there. Yeah. There's talk of some security cameras, but I doubt it's going to be Apple branded. It'll probably be something like Eufy or something like that. That really is part of that. Just to integrate with HomeKit better. Wearables, watches. Look, I mean, the Series 12 should be coming out. We should also be getting the new Apple Watch Ultra. So what would that be? Generation 3, which I really would love to get an Ultra. They're just so damn expensive. And then the new Apple Watch SE. Now, they'll definitely update the chip, as they always do, probably the S12 chip, and which will be the newest chip for the watches. Might be my year that I upgrade. This is technically my phone year, but we're going to see. I still don't know if I want to get a Fold or not. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that.
I'm committed with mine for Verizon giving me it for free if I upgraded. But I do need a new watch. Yeah, free. But I do need to get a new watch this upcoming year, because I'm sure mine will have you took it off charger, it's dead. By September.
I'm telling you what, man. Go buy, like, if you want something. I want to live the 2 Apple Watch life. I did it for a very short amount of time before my one died. When I say that, you laugh, but the 2 Apple Watch life is excellent, because you can almost never have to take one off, like take it off. Like, you always have one on. Like, so you have one on the charger and you wear one to work. So take one to work, you wear it to work. When you come home, put on the other one, and that's the one that you at the house in, you go to bed in, and then you wake up and put on the other one, and it just you never have to worry about it. And you can get them, like, dude, used Apple Watch. You get a Series 7 or Series 8 for probably $200 or less on Amazon right now.
Yeah,
which is great. And I have the 8; it's awesome. But obviously, if you go the Apple Watch Ultra route, then it has like 3-day battery life. So.
Oh, that would be great too.
Yeah.
Well, those things are huge too, aren't they? Like they're like 45, 48 millimeters.
Yeah, they're pretty big, and honestly, I think they look really nice. I like the look and
Mm.
design of them much better than the regular Apple Watches, but they are a bit large.
Yeah.
But I have big hands and big wrists, so it look fine for me. I don't know about
Well,
you. You and
you
your
know
little
what
girly wrists.
you know what they say about a guy with big hands and big wrists.
What?
Big watches. No. Well, no, I do have girly wrists. I do have outrageously small wrists, but I do beat my hands off of that sounds bad. I do hit my hands off of everything at work. So a bigger watch might not be for me. Don't let that deter you, but it's probably just not for me.
AI smart glasses. So obviously, I don't know if you've messed with the Vision Pro. That's kind of
No.
the slow gateway into possibly getting AI smart glasses through Apple. I have not gotten to mess with the Vision Pro. I mean, $3,500 is ridiculous for something
Wow.
that I can do with a Meta Quest. You know, like it's just
that and
more.
it's you add on I think it's $500 or $600 just because we have glasses.
I think it's just $100 for the.
Or
Because
is
of
it?
that.
I know
Yeah.
it was something like that, but I mean, which is nice because then you don't have to wear your glasses, but that's still extra $100.
Yeah, but again, I don't think this is going to come out this year. I honestly don't even know if this is going to come out this decade. I could see it probably coming out like 2030, 2031, but in the 2020s decade, no, I don't think these AI glasses, smart glasses are coming. I know that there's a lot of companies who are kind of going that route. Meta has theirs, and I think I can't remember, a couple others have theirs, but they're not quite there yet. And Apple is one of those companies that they won't put something out if it's not perfect up to their standard. And if you're looking at Meta and they're not there yet, and these other companies aren't quite there yet, Apple, I believe they have better people working on this stuff, but I think they're gonna hold off because they have the same technology available to them, slightly better because it's Apple, but
Yeah.
AirPods Pro, looks like this is going to become a yearly update. Maybe. I don't know. They did just release the AirPods Pro 3, which I'm telling you right now, the most comfortable, perfect AirPods ever. I got them for Christmas. They are amazing. They are perfect. They fit in my ear. Like it's there's just a little cloud there. Honestly, it doesn't even feel like there's anything there. Like when I put them in my ears, like they are that good. I have had the Apple Pros and the Apples Pro 2. They were great, but they were not as comfortable as these Apple Pro 3, Apple AirPods. What am I saying? AirPods Pro 3. And so if you don't have them, get them. I love them. And the bass is great on them. I think they have great bass.
I will say I've had AirPods every year up till last year, whatever 2024's release. 2024's release is superb because I wear them all day because I'm on the phone or need to hear notifications all day. I burnt through a pair after pair after pair every year, and this pair has the battery life hasn't even just went down on it. Like they are still like brand new, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
Also, oops, sorry, did not mean to hit that. Got these bad boys.
Oh, you got the Maxes? Look at you.
They're nice.
Yeah, I'd love to get Maxes, but yeah, I can't justify spending $550 on AirPods or headphones that are 5 years old. Like I just can't do it. I'm sorry. Like if they came out with a new pair this year, which would be fantastic, then I would start to consider like, you know what, maybe I'll do that. But I can't. 5-year-old hardware and software, not for me. Speaking of software, iOS 26.4, which 26.3 right now is in beta, which I have, which is great. But they're saying 26.4 should come out sometime in March or April publicly, which means I'll probably be seeing the beta probably in February because I'm on the beta program. And this is the one that's supposed to give us the new updated Siri that they promised us 2 years ago, essentially.
That's the whole reason I'm part of the beta thing too, was for the new Siri.
So I'm hoping that it is fixed, that it does get fixed. There's discussion and talk that they're gonna be using Google Gemini in the background. So you'll still be saying, hey Siri or whatever, but in the background it'll be utilizing Google Gemini. That's what is supposed to be happening. So we'll see. And we'll see if it's any good for sure. And then we got Mac OS 27, iOS 27, which would come out next September, obviously, but
Yeah.
the announcement for it will be at WWDC in June. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to really expect for that because last year was such a massive change with iOS and with Mac OS, specifically with the liquid glass on iOS.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be a major change this year, but it could be.
No. Even with iOS 27, I don't foresee anything more than like an updated AI. Maybe it's a little quicker. It reads your mind, so you don't even have to say anything. It just does it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
probably. Now, out of all this, because I know you're not a big Mac guy, like MacBook guy, I get that. Mac guy, you're not, but you love the iPhone. You have some other products. Out of all of these, though, like what is it that you are looking forward to the most? It seems like you just got a new iPad, so honestly, you probably won't need an iPad for like 5 years.
Well, I've been looking at a mini, and honestly, it's just been one of those, well, I don't really need it type things. So I've just been kicking it down the road.
That's how I was too. It's like I don't
Yeah.
need it, but because I got the larger size iPad Air, because I do a lot of my editing on there. I do a lot of different things. I like to draw on it and everything like that. And it was like, this is so large, like I don't want to carry it around to meetings and things like that. But the mini, I was like, first off, I can read comics on it. I can, use it in meetings. It's perfect for that. It really is.
So that's why I would use mine for, is just like reading comics or books or something like that. Just something to lay in bed and do, I guess.
Yeah.
Not that you're supposed to, but probably the mini, probably a new watch, whether it's, the SE or the Ultra or, what is it, the 12? I think it's 12 now, 11, 12, whatever. I'll probably be getting a new watch. I mean, I don't need a new phone really, unless Verizon's like, hey, take one for free.
Free.
Free. I mean, I might get new AirPods depending on if for some reason those ones start to die on me. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm just looking for, the minor things.
I mean, for me, I definitely am interested in the new AirTags. I'd love to see new HomePods. Again, I want to put another HomePod in my kitchen for music. Currently, I have an older, like larger size Alexa. I think it was called like the Alexa Studio or something. I know it's the larger ball, but I've had it for a few years, and you can kind of tell it's starting to get on its last legs. So I wouldn't mind getting a new HomePod to put it in my kitchen for listening to music there. But I think the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to, though, is absolutely the iPhone Fold or the Ultra or whatever it's going to call. Whether I get it or not, I still want to see what they do with this technology, because I've been interested in the folds. I've never been a big fan of them. Like I've never been like, I need to get a Samsung Galaxy Fold or a Pixel Fold or anything like that. But for me, it's kind of like, I'd like to see how they improve on the technology and how much better it is. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And because it is my upgrade year for my phone, that gives me one other option to look at, because I've had the Pros now for 5 years. It's kind of like, I'd like to see something different, like try something different out. And honestly, if I would have upgraded this year, I probably would have gotten the iPhone Air just because of how different it is and just how cool it is. Next year or this year now, 2026, because it's the Fold, I may go with the Fold. Now, if I don't get the Fold, it might be because I wait to get the new Air that comes out in the spring. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just, the cameras aren't that like important to me. Like I'm using my phone now for a camera right now, but it would be just as good with the Air or with the Fold or anything like that. Like the only real reason that you need a Pro with cameras is if you want that ultra wide or something like that, or that crazy zoom. And I don't really need it. So
well, that's the camera updates, the upgrades. Because I mean, again, you can only upgrade it so far before you're caught up. I don't care. I'm like, just give me a better processor, really. Like better processor, and the battery lives tend to go to junk on me real quick. But
that's kind of like the problem I think we're seeing with, and it's not just Apple. I mean, it's with technology as a whole. Everything's become almost so stale to a point because the technology is so good, and it's kind of like, what else can you give us with the technology that my phone or my computer couldn't do last year, 2 years ago? Yeah, the spec upgrades are great, but we're at this point now where it's kind of like, I'm rocking a computer from 2 years ago, a phone from a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and come this winter, I still wouldn't need to upgrade technically. I have my M1 Mac Mini. It's 5 years old and it's still rocking. Like it's
Yeah,
still
like
rocking fine. So when it comes to technology, it's kind of like what is it that they can do to entice people to buy and to get more? And I
mm,
think doing these little things like the folds, like the air, switching things up a little bit, just slightly changing the designs, that's what's going to entice people. It's not so much the spec upgrades anymore.
yeah. No, well, that's how I feel. I'm like most of the time I only upgrade because the battery went to garbage, or or it's just old. Like it's been 3-4 years, and it's just might as well get a new one.
Yeah.
Most of the time, the text for the most part's the same. It's not really like anything drastically changes.
I remember when we started hanging out, you upgraded every single year.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore.
I'm surprised you're not part of the Apple upgrade program, which is basically you pay X amount of money every month or for a year, and every year they just send you a new phone.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost was. Now 30-year-old me's like, no, that's financially irresponsible.
Is it though? Is it?
I mean, no, as I say, with like my house with just all kinds of expensive tech everywhere. Like I the other day made it a point to go buy a Dreamcast.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and then they had a GameCube there too. So I was like, yeah, but I'll get the GameCube as well.
What the heck? Why not?
Yeah, so I'm no stranger to spending money on stupid tech.
life without kids, I tell you.
Yeah, well, hey, my 3 dogs are basically kids at this point. But
yeah, but for me, I just think they have to start going outside the box a little bit and trying to find ways to entice people that isn't just technology inside the product. They really need to focus on the aesthetics because they did upgrade the Pros this year. They do look different. Is it better? I don't know. I'm still kind of unsure if I like the design now, but the MacBooks, even like I said, they need to update that a little bit. I think they need to update. They did just update the Mac Minis. That was great, but again, that's the kind of stuff they need to do is really look at updating that stuff. Yeah. But I don't know, man. This is kind of what the show will be. I mean, obviously not talking about what's coming every single time. But
well, because it's always me. But shades of 2017 me here.
What is going on?
I started completely off topic. You were talking, I think it was the MacBooks, and the Deathstroke joke came to my head from like 5 years ago. Deathstroke, it's always the final stroke. I don't know why I started thinking about it. But I did, and it was I kept it together though. You can see that in the editing. I may crack the smirk.
I do hope I do hope that people go with us on this journey where we do this. I'm shooting for once a week here for this show. I don't know about you. It's kind of a work in progress, also music wise and aesthetic wise. Like we got, we have a logo and things like that, but just trying to work out the kinks here of a new show, a new podcast. We're not going to go live until we get some kind of following, but before then, we're gonna do this kind of thing, and every week, and we'll have something to talk about. Again, Apple's the main topic, but other technology may sprinkle in there, like we talked about the Alexa stuff. We may talk about other things that just interest us when it comes to technology. Heck, we both I have 3D printers. I haven't used them for a while, but I know he's got a 3D printer that he hasn't hooked up yet.
It's literally right there in the box.
So we may talk about that kind of stuff. Who knows? But if you're a tech enthusiast, if you're somebody who likes tech, if you love Apple, this is a show for you. This is a show to hopefully you'll enjoy listening to. I know there's countless other ones out there, but
what more do you need in the podcast besides 2 beautiful mustached men and tech?
And tech. Your mustache is way better than mine, though. So
this is 1 month of not shaving.
That's ridiculous, dude.
It literally, I think a little over 1 month.
That's wild. All right, I don't know why we're talking about mustaches here, but
mustache tech next episode.
But hit that like button, hit subscribe, follow us. We're going to be on as many of the podcatching apps as possible. Once we get on all those, it'll take a bit of time, but follow us, like us, all that kind of stuff. Can anybody find you anywhere? Are you on the socials, or do you just kind of stick to yourself?
I mean, you could find me places. White Ruby 53 everywhere. If it's not, it's my name. Well, I'm pointing at my screen, but it's right there.
Look at my screen.
It's right there. And good luck, Godspeed, because it's not my full name. It's my middle name.
All right. And yeah, I mean, from my standpoint, you can find me at actually Slav's Free Talk on Twitter or X or whatever. Again, that's my main Twitter. It's basically my main Twitter for my other show, but you can find me there. I talk tech on there all the time still. It's kind of my catch-all whenever I'm aggravated about something or excited about something. And, yeah, that's where it is. But this was fun. I liked it. It's great. I hope we continue. Look, the biggest hurdle for podcasts is getting to those first, 10 episodes or something like that. So let's make sure we hit 10 at least, and we'll go from there.
Our first 10 episodes ever recorded together were so bad they were lost to time.
It's funny because I'll see things pop up on my Facebook timeline that we shared, and I'm like, oh, cool, I want to click it. And I click it, and it's just like, nope, not there. Like, oh,
yeah. Our first 10 episodes were so bad. I wonder how many. I just want to know how many dick jokes I made.
If you think, look, do you remember doing the Common Sense podcast with Brian?
Yeah,
you can find those on YouTube.
No, wait, he who shall not be named.
He who shall not be named. But you can find them on YouTube. I actually pulled one up. There's a handful on there because that's kind of where our pop culture stuff started. Yeah. I found one on there about, I think it was Batman versus Superman, and like I shared it to everybody on I was like, look, this is like one of my first podcasts I ever did. Look how bad I am.
I refer to people to the Matrix movie boot that we did.
Oh yeah, but there's so much swearing in there, and so many fillers. Like there's so many there's clicking, there's.
I don't think either one of us has said, "Oh," this whole episode.
Yeah.
I don't
know. I'm pretty sure we did.
I'm sure, but nowhere near as many as that one.
Definitely
look at
not,
Movie Booth.
No. Yeah. Movie, man, I missed. That was such a great idea. Such a great name too. We always came up with great names for shit.
Hey, this one. The name of this behind the scenes here. The name of this podcast was one name.
Well, two, because you came up with it, and I was like, well, let's shorten it.
Yeah, literally first try. It was amazing. Yeah. Never be able to do that again in my life.
Bite into Apple. So this has been Bite into Apple, guys. Thanks for watching. Again, hopefully you stick with us on this journey as we go on. That's been Colton. I'm Slav.
It's your boy.
I'll catch you all later.